Good morning and greetings of peace to everyone over here. It is an honor and it is a joy, sweet joy, to come and address to all of you. I've been listening since morning and I feel that food for mind has been provided enough by such divine words spoken by our Reverend, I'll say rather Reverend Jagdish Gandhi sir, and the prayers that happen in the morning. As we eat to fulfill and take care of the bodily needs, we also need food for the mind. And today, I want to talk about holistic living to all of you. According to a survey done in India, and this is the source given by Childline, www.childlineindia.org, that 63.6% of patients were introduced to drugs at an early age of life, and that is below the age of 15 years. According to a survey done by Times of India, 37% 10-year-old children have access to Facebook accounts, and 24% children have access to Instagram accounts. Think, 10-year-olds, and what is the content that is being revealed over there? The basic 4 categories of the child development are the physical body that we need to take care of. Second is the cognitive, the mind that needs to develop. The third is the social, emotional perspective. And the fourth and the most important are the human values or the spiritual category. Now, I need to ask myself, am I providing food for thought in all these 4 categories? Let me talk about the challenges before I come to the solutions and the way out, and how I can provide this food in these 4 categories. Number 1, I want to talk about the information overload. Now, I have children, we have teachers and principals from various schools. Do you think that information overload leads to an kind of the ability to discern and discriminate? It takes a little more time when there's information overload. Do you agree? If you agree, raise your hands up. So I see a lot of hands going up, right? Second, we also are seeing that the not being able to say no. Children, do you feel that you're able to say no outright if there's something you don't want to do? You're not able to say so. Third, a culture of blame. Do I take responsibility what is happening in my life? Or do I say it's because of them this has happened to me? If this was fixed, then this wouldn't have happened to me. Relationships. Are you facing challenges in relationships? Maybe with family, maybe with peers, maybe with relatives. Or if you're not facing, do you see these challenges across you in terms of relationship? I'm asking you, do you feel the pressure to grow up quickly? Or do you feel others want to grow up? Others want you to grow up quickly? If you feel yes, raise your hand. Almost, I'd say 98% or so, I can see everyone raising your hands. Tall self-expectations, substance abuse, social media distractions, and the artificial gloss of the virtual world. These are all things that, children are surrounded with. You are surrounded with, and I understand. And I want to share a story over here with you before I come to the way out and the solutions of all these challenges. The story is named Fire in the Jungle. And there was this fire that blazed out in the jungle, and all the animals, the lion, the giraffe, they started to get wary and they were running to save their life. And in that all chaos, there's this little bird, tiny little bird, delicate, that went up to a pond nearby And in its beak, just a tiny drop of water in its beak, the bird took and tried to splash it over that big jungle. And she kept doing that. And the other animals said, "Oh, what you're doing, you will die, you're so delicate, don't do this, the fire's on jungle, leave and run away." And that little bird turned around and said, "I must do what I should do at this moment. I should do my duty. I should fulfill my responsibility. This is my home. The jungle is my home." And then when the bird said that, there were angels passing by. They heard that. And the rains started to pour. And the big fire flames, they were all doused. And the jungle was restored back to normal. The message of the story is that I must fulfill my responsibility in spite of all the external circumstances I face in my life. COVID came, yes, almost 2 years. But within that time, am I fulfilling the daily needs and responsibility of my own life is the question I need to ask myself. And now COVID is over. Am I doing that? Is something that I need to ask. Now, the way out to all these challenges is, number one, you need to communicate with your well-wishers, your parents, your relatives, your teachers, or your guardians. If there is a situation where I feel I cannot talk to it, or I feel that my ego comes in between, or I feel that what would others think, I need to help myself and express it. If not them, then who? Second, if you feel that your parents don't have enough time, or you feel that the bond is not so strong, children, please remember, they are the only ones who will stand with you thick and thin. And yet, you go and talk to them. You go and tell them, "Mummy, Papa, this is how I'm feeling. This is what is going on in my life, and I want you to know." Rather than you wait for them to understand what you are going through. Rather, you wait for them to automatically sense by your expressions what is happening in your life. Do you think I'm making sense? If you think I'm making sense, can you raise your hand up? Yeah, almost everyone. Great. And I would feel that my coming over here has been served well if you follow this one little piece of advice. Second, since you have access to the smartphone and the internet, it is very, very important to discern the relevant content. You need to type in search words, the keywords, which are relevant to you. In that big, huge ocean of the internet, there is content which is irrelevant, there is content which could be distractive, and there is content that can gradually take you towards degradation. As Jagdish sir was saying, that as you sow, so shall you reap. As you think, so shall you become. And what is this content inducing us to do? Think. It is giving us food for thought. And is that quality of food for thought I need to process and churn within my mind? And when I do that, my actions, my words, they come out proportionately. And thus, I need to be very careful on the kind of content I'm watching. I also see that children these days have this peer pressure to create YouTube channels and to have likes, comments, followers, and subscribers to gain name, fame, popularity. But at what cost? And what is the kind of content I'm trying to show to gain name, fame, and popularity? And what is that so-called fame or popularity? Being infamous is equivalent to being famous? being notorious. So I need to check and I need to be very careful. And apart from that, when my mind gradually or slowly, not wanting to, but even with so much that is happening around me, starts thinking about that, what can I do? What can I tell myself? Is to stick to my timetable. Have I prepared a timetable for myself? Do I have a rough sketch what I need to do throughout the day, what I need to do throughout the week, what I need to subtract, what I need to add, what I need to work on? Do I need to go for any hobby classes, or is there any special subject that I need to work on? And if I need to work on, and if I don't have resources, then how can I allocate those resources? Or my mind wanders aimlessly in the world of the virtual gloss. Another very powerful thing that I want to share with you is that there could be, as the statistics say, 94.8% children from the age of 8 to 18 years of age have access to smartphones and the internet. 94.8%. And so there could be moments which are low. There could be moments where you feel unhappy, you feel sorrowful, you feel confused, there's a lot of curiosity. And to overcome that, I tell you with my experience, express gratitude. The first thing in the morning, I guarantee you, the first thing in the morning when you open your eyes, you say, thank you, God. Thank you for a new day. Thank you that I slept safe, I woke up safe, and I have enough food on my plate to eat. Count your blessings. What all things you have in your life? Am I grateful for that? You need to remind yourself on a continuous basis, on a daily basis, and that is expressing gratitude. Express gratitude to that divine energy up above for keeping me with people who ensure my safety and security. There will be conflict of opinion. There would be difference in ideas, but that does not mean they don't love me. They don't care for me. They are not there for me. To overcome all these challenges that children you face in your life, another thing is to make yourself part of some community project. Part of a community project, some charity work. And when you're in this process, you'll be able to develop an inner voice. Are you able to hear your inner voice? How many children are not able to hear that inner voice? How many children are able to hear their inner voice? Okay, wonderful. And so the idea is to keep that alive. And what about the children who didn't raise their hands in both the questions? Confused. They're confused. They're doubtful. And so keep this inner voice alive, this inner voice, and listening to your inner voice. If I don't listen to my inner voice and I surpass my conscience, how do I feel within? Am I feeling good? Am I uncomfortable? Am I doubtful? And listen to it. Honor it. And when you will honor your own inner voice, you will be able to navigate the journey of life. You will be able to say no. You will be able to say yes. You will be able to put your foot down for things that you feel are not worthy for you. उसको कैसे लगेगा, मैं कैसे बोलूँ, वो बड़े हैं, मेरे friends भी सारे करते हैं, you know. Now another major thing that I want to talk about, there are lots of things that I wanted to talk about. I'll come down to a few things. That is, you need to identify your well-wisher. Maybe you'll feel that there are not enough people who care about me. There are not people who understand me. they're not people who love me so much. And, the people getting into relationship, we see that everywhere. Kash koi aisa relationship mujhe mil jaye, so they will understand me. Being in this field, I have a lot of youth coming to me and talking about that, so I know it. But that doesn't work. That will not work. Take my word. I say that with my interactions with n number of children and parents. That will just not work, at least at this age. Once you're into college, out, then that's a different life, and you're in the real world where you're earning your own money, then it's a different situation. But before that, it will just not work. It will distract you from all the work and the lakshya, the path that you have created for yourself. Healthy discussions on diverse topics. Are you doing that? Talk about festivals, culture, religion, current affairs, talk about various professions. When you meet any professional, maybe an IPS officer, you will have uncles and aunties, you will have relatives. Somebody could be a chartered accountant, somebody could be a chemical engineer. What is that big talk I can have with them? You can ask them, Uncle, how did you become a chemical engineer? Uncle, how did you become you? Which course you went? Which university you joined? What were the subjects you studied? And what qualities are required to become what you have become, to get into this profession you are, maybe an actuarial scientist, maybe an archivist, maybe an historian. So that big talk you can do, and you could channelize your energy towards these more productive things rather than the challenges that our children are facing in today's time. Socialize, be friends with people, but most importantly, confide in your well-wishers. Do you talk? Do you share whom you met? What kind of conversation you had with your well-wishers? If you do so, please raise your hand. Not many, very few. I think it would be less than 40%. Not even that, 20, I feel. 20% children share with their well-wishers interactions. Percentage is very low. You need to share what is happening in your life with your well-wishers, with the parents. Talk to them about your experiences. Because anyway, after class 12, you'll be out. And if not now, if you will not strengthen your bonds now, then when? You initiate. You initiate. Don't wait for your parents, relatives. You strike. You make an attempt to make that conversation. Another thing I would recommend over here is to read self-help books, improvement books. Get that content. Learn some new skill, maybe driving, cycling, ticketing, booking your own tickets, flight tickets, train tickets, organizing parties, traveling, a bit of cooking, doing some laundry work. Engage yourself in all these different activities than just one or two hobbies that you have and not looking into the real aspect of life. If you have to change, repair some electrical fitting and you think you can do so, you must do that. And all these things. And I want to end this address with a little pledge. 3 points in the pledge. Are you up? Would you repeat after me? I can assure you that they're going to be good points. So number 1, I pledge. You can put your hand forward and say, I pledge that I will express gratitude every day. Second pledge, I pledge that I will take responsibility of my own life. Even if someone takes care of me or not. And the third, I will always say a prayer. I will always remember the divine. Thank you so much. So I hope that even if 1, 2, 5 children have benefited from this keynote address, I feel my work and my task, my mission has been fulfilled. With lots of good wishes.